Police shooting that happened yesterday morning in Minneapolis. In just the last few hours, the city released footage from an officer's body-worn camera.
A warning, though, it could be disturbing to watch. It shows the encounter that killed Amir Locke inside a downtown apartment.
Police search for it! Police search for it! Police search for it!
Jeff Wagner is here now to walk us through the video and what we've learned tonight about this investigation. Jeff.
Amelia, earlier today, Locke's family first viewed the video, which is what city leaders wanted before they released it to the public. Now, the elements of the video unfold quickly, as you just saw. The video clip itself was 15 seconds in total, but an officer's gun goes off 9 seconds after police enter the apartment. Officers use a key to open the door and immediately start shouting search warrant and other commands as they enter. MPD gave us this slowed-down version of the footage. Their guns are drawn, flashlights on. They then kick the couch that Locke is sleeping on, and as he awakens and gets up, he is holding a gun. Officer Mark Hanneman shoots him. Police also released this still frame from the video showing the gun in Locke's hand. Yesterday, police said the gun was pointed at officers. At a press conference with Mayor Jacob Frey tonight, community leaders asked Interim Police Chief Amelia Huffman if she could specifically point out when the gun was pointed at the officer.
So if you look at that still image, even though you don't see all of the officers, the involved officer was just outside the frame in the direction that that barrel is emerging from the blanket.
But it looked to me as if that gun in Mr. Locke's hand was pointed toward the floor.
And certainly when the county attorney's office reviews that case, they will be carefully examining all of those factors, and I'm absolutely positive they will take a look at that.
It was not long after that answer that civil rights attorney Nakima Levy-Armstrong passionately interrupted the press conference. She's part of a new city commission to improve public safety and said Frey and Huffman's response to the shooting is not what voters want.
What they were expecting is a new beginning. That's why they gave you more power and authority. So that is what we want to see as the residents of Minneapolis. We don't want to see cover-ups. We don't want to see whitewashing. People are asking very simple questions that have still not been answered. Amelia, you're saying you want to be the chief? Then act like it.
We learned some other new details tonight. St. Paul police had a warrant to search 3 apartments in the building related to a homicide investigation. Chief Huffman did confirm that Locke was not named in the search warrant and added that St. Paul police recovered evidence from the building that could be related to that initial homicide investigation.
Three days after the SWAT team raid inside a downtown apartment. We have team coverage for you tonight as we learn more about Locke's death and the powerful response from the community. We're going to start with David Schumann, who was there as Locke's family spoke today. David?
Amir Locke's father spoke for about half an hour to a crowd of hundreds of people, maybe 1,000. What all those people want was made clear today for Officer Mark Hanneman, who shot Amir, to be fired and criminally charged, for acting Minneapolis Police Chief Amelia Huffman to be fired, and for Mayor Jacob Frey to resign.
How dare you take my son from me and his mother?
Andre Locke, who goes by Buddy, shared publicly Saturday the deep pain and sorrow he's feeling after the death of his son Amir.
It's not easy to have to bury your son. I'm going to miss cracking jokes with my boy. I'm going to miss calling him to find out what's the best, who's rocking in the music.
Body camera video shows a Minneapolis SWAT officer shooting Amir 3 times Wednesday morning while carrying out a no-knock search warrant as part of a murder investigation. Amir wasn't named on the warrant. His aunt, Linda, isn't satisfied with what's been made public so far.
Where are the rest of the cameras that we haven't seen that have been recorded? We want all the footage.
No-knock warrants are known to be high risk, and Mayor Jacob Frey has imposed a moratorium on them except if there's a, quote, imminent threat of harm. Signs at Saturday's protest called for banning no-knock warrants altogether.
They're setting up this dynamic where people are seeing the other as a threat, and we've got to reimagine some of those interactions so that both law enforcement and people at large aren't put in these positions where someone is a threat and potentially having to use force.
The Minneapolis officers were helping with a St. Paul investigation, so an SPPD deputy chief was the one who approved the warrant in question. But sources tell WCCO it was Minneapolis that insisted on it being no-knock. An MPD spokesperson said each warrant process is completed on an individual case-by-case basis.
We've also learned through sources that Judge Peter Kale was the judge who signed off on the no-knock warrant. Last year, Kale oversaw the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis officer convicted of murdering George Floyd.
All right. Thank you, David, for the update. Locke's